The Money Matters Podcast tip of the day.
Majority of Ghanaians are still living in poverty because they lack discipline. You got to find a way, whatever you're doing, to master the skill. Whatever you're doing, you got to find a way to master your own skill. Sit down and plan, and trying to find a way to take control over your existence or whatever you're doing. If you have no control and you're just there, you're just living by the time, whatever's going on, you don't have a plan. Basically, you like a chicken with no head, You're just there. You're living by the moments, whatever's going on at that time, that's what you're doing. If you get paid, you just feel like you're spending this money on that. You just go ahead and spend the money on that. You have nothing planned because you should already have a system of how you're going to break down the money or the income that's coming to you. And you should stick with it. How hard it is, whatever the challenges are, you find a way to stick with it. You might not be able to stick with it throughout the whole year or whatever time period that you plan, but it's going to help you get closer to the goal.
Definitely, yes. Having a sense of discipline always helps. And also, I think one of the words that kind of goes with discipline is control. It's pretty much having that mental strength, that control over your expenses, over your spendings. Having that control over when you want to get up to go and do what. Having that control to be able to say no. Having that control to be able to say no, I can't move with this person. I can't be at this place at this time. I have to. Having that control to go down the list that you've made. I've made these a list of a couple of things that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. But then again, we usually do these things. But when it comes down to it, at that very moment, I decided yesterday or made a plan yesterday that today I'm going to get up and the first thing I'm going to do is to probably read for 20 minutes, better my vocabulary. Go call this person, ask him how he did this or that. Once that time comes for you to call that person, to grab that book, you get these sense of, being tired or having other things that you think are more important, so you should forgo whatever you've decided the day prior to do. So having that discipline to not touch that money, to spend that money that's in your account, because you have $100 in your account. It's your money. No one will point a gun to you or will question you should you spend that money. But do you have that control over yourself to say, no, this money, I don't need to use it. Whatever that I want to get is not something that I have to be able to survive. I could live without this thing. Do you have that discipline, that control over yourself to say, no, I'm not going to do that?
I guess it depends on how hungry you are. If you're really hungry and you're trying to achieve, because talk is cheap. You could plan, and you plan with the money, when the money gets in your hand, different other avenues, other things come up. So are you going to stick with the plan, or are you just going to drift from the plan? It depends on how hungry you are. If you're hungry, you seriously hungry, you want to achieve whatever goal you set, you're going to discipline yourself. So, like I said, it depends on how hungry you are.
Yes. So we all know waking up every day to go to work is no easy thing. And we don't want to do that every day of our lives. So we'll probably hit the bed to the point where we can't get up and rock no more. So the whole thing is trying to put something away for the future, for tomorrow, when you don't feel like it. Do you have to work, or you want to work?
It depends though.
It depends. You want to go to work if you want to. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to work every day, because if you don't,
that's basically, you want to be able to control your own time and your own decisions. You want to put matters into your own hands.
Exactly.
So you want to call the shots in your own life. So
yes. So now going down the list of the 10 things that kind of put us in a position where we always have to get up and run every day because we have no choice. We have that rent, we have that car note, we have that cable bill, we have these mortgage or whatnot. We have to make the money. Now, having the discipline not to spend that extra $100 is what's going to add to another $100 tomorrow to get you to the position where you'd be able to live how you want.
Yeah, so basically, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you're just waiting for the next paycheck to come in. You don't have that. You're not going to be able to survive if you were to lose your job for the next 6 months or 3 months. You know, and when you think about it like that, maybe it will motivate you, because you should be able to survive without your job for at least 3 to 6 months before you find another job or you find another avenue to make money. So if you can't do that, then you gotta wake up and smell the coffee.
That's a whole topic that we would dedicate another whole show to and talk about having that emergency fund.
What they're saying is we have to learn to be disciplined with our money and our daily activities pertaining to our finances.
Definitely. And having, I like to use the word control, because discipline to me seems like somebody is over you trying to tell you don't do this and do that. But controlling is you telling yourself, no, I'm not going to do this. And basically, we just have to have that control over ourselves to make that decision that we have $1,000 in our account. It's our own money. But we don't have to use it, because we could survive without it, without using that money to buy that specific or particular thing we're trying to get. We don't have to go get it to be able to survive. That new shoes that you saw at Macy's, you don't have to rock those shoes to be able to live.
Right. I mean, to be disciplined kind of come from you self-motivating yourself. It comes from self-motivation, because you're saying that it feels like somebody's over you. You have to be over yourself, trying to be your own boss kind of, and motivate yourself to achieve the goals that you're trying to do.
I understand that, but I said control because of how we've used the word discipline. I remember back in school in Ghana how the teachers used to say, "I'm going to discipline you." So it has that stigma with it. So once you say discipline, once you tell me that discipline, I kind of put that block between myself and that word. But yes, me having that power, me having that control over myself, that's everything. So we have to be able to develop that discipline, that control that will help us tell ourselves that, hey, I have $5,000. It's my own money, and I can use that money, probably 1,500 of that money, 2,000 of that money, to buy the new iPhone that just came out. But do I need that iPhone? You would need that control. You would need that discipline to say, no, I don't need it, so I'm not going to.
I mean, nobody's trying to knock the new iPhone or whatever that you're trying to get. But at the end of the day, I think if you live in poverty, you know yourself. And if you can't afford that, some people can afford the iPhone, some people can't. So the people that could afford it, I'm sure they budget themselves in a way that they can afford it. They make more money than they have more money coming in, they could buy it. Depending on, what stage you're in, what kind of investor are you? Are you concentrating on buying assets and not spending, wasting time on things that you're buying that are going to take money away from you and all that stuff?
Thank you for listening to the Money Matters Podcast Tip of the Day.